Live in the markets with Trader Nick. In this show, Nick will cover the latest market trends, whether they're rising or falling. Stick around to hear about trade ideas, latest news, and much more. Remember that trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Today's stream is made possible by our partners and sponsors. If you're looking for a new broker, trying to get funded, or looking for a trading community to join, consider checking out the links in the description below. By using these links, you'll get access to great products and be supporting the channel. And now, it's time for Live in the Markets with Trader Nick.
3, 2, 1.
My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. We put out tons of stuff for free for traders. These are real trades. This is real money. I'm putting my money on the line. This is going to be a live trading video. Here, locking in over $1,000 on this trade. Wow, I'd love to get in on this. Technical insights that really look good to me. Here we go. We're live. Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. I hope you're doing well. We're back here with another day in the markets talking about what's going on. And man, I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but I've been talking about this dollar yen trade for a long time now, over a week, actually a week in 2 days. So I've been talking about this trade over and over and over. And it's just because I can't get it out of my head. I got to talk about what I am trading. That's what I do on the channel, right? So I've been in one trade here that just does not want to quit. And so what I want to do here today is we'll come back to this, to other charts in just a moment, but I want to just start today by taking a look at this dollar yen trade and really breaking down what kind of has happened with it so far. So check it out with me. So let me just get my pen pulled up here. So we bought this dollar yen trade. This trade was shared inside of our group last Sunday. So we've been in this trade. I haven't taken any other trades in the last week other than this single trade on dollar yen. I bought back here. Price came down to a supportive level that I liked. And I would be lying if I said I knew that price was going to do all this. I did not know that price was going to do all this. In fact, that's why I use a trailing stop loss. And I just want to talk about this here for a second before we jump into a whole bunch of analysis of different charts and stuff like that. We will take a look at some pairs. I want to talk about this and reference, actually, Andrew has an excellent question, which we'll cover in just a second. If you were already in UJ, would you consider this a decent spot to get long? Andrew, thank you for the question. Great question there. And good to see you in the chat. I know a lot of you guys who are here on the regular, I do recognize your name. So thank you for being here and supporting the streams, Andrew, and everyone else who's here hanging out. So here's the thing, right? We're looking at UJ, and when we look at the 4-hour chart, this thing is absolutely flying. And again, going back to what I just said, I had no idea that the market was going to do all this. Now, I was bullish, don't get me wrong, and I had targets at levels like this and levels previous high here, but I had no idea that the market would do all this. But what I did know is that the trend was up overall, right? Overall, longer term trend is up. I want to be a buyer. Price is pulling back 2 levels. I like the fundamentals. I like the sentiment analysis, and I like the technical analysis. Everything matched up with my trading strategy. So I took the trade. I've been trailing this stop every day for 8 or 9 days now, which for me is a pretty good sized, pretty lengthy trade. Most of my trades are anywhere from a day to 5 days, but once things start entering into the 10-day period, that usually means that I have a crazy, crazy winner on my hands. Now, this is not the best trade I've ever taken, but it's getting close. We're having a really, really good move here. I didn't take a massive trade by any means either. This is about a 1.15 lots. I bought back here, and now I've marked all these levels. We've got all these levels, and Andrew in the chat asked, hey, Nick, if you missed the move, is now a good time to buy? And I'm going to give you my honest take. I personally don't think I'd be buying up here. However, I wouldn't be shorting either. Okay, so this is just my take on it, right? The move here was here. I shouted this out in the trading group. If you're not already in the VIP, we share all the trades being taken. I shared this trade with the full breakdown back at this time. This was the time that I think had the best chance of probability. That's why I took the trade, right? So I shared the trade. This was the trade I took. So I entered. The fundamentals looked good. The technicals looked good. And the reason, I'm going to expand on that answer in just a moment. The reason I took it here was because I thought it had the max reward relative to the risk that I had to take. Remember, when we take a trade, we talk about taking a position, and you're here on the live streams, and we're talking about taking trades right now, right? When we take trades, there is always a risk involved. But for me, it's all about how much risk do I have to take to potentially reward myself really well, right? So that is the more important question. So when we look at UJ now and we say, okay, well, things have run dramatically, I think that the risk here starts becoming much, much higher relative to the reward. Because let's be honest, I'm not saying it can't keep going like crazy, but odds are at some point we get a pullback, right? I wouldn't bet on that. I wouldn't try and time that, but we're probably due for a bit of a retracement. And what I mean by that is, maybe your UJ long bias is still in play, but perhaps you're waiting for a pullback that's a little bit more substantial. So I probably wouldn't be buying around these areas. That's just my personal opinion. I am just simply going with the flow. I'm trailing my stop loss. So I initially bought here. I trailed stops along these gray areas. They're major structure points where I have essentially been trailing my stop loss until now. At this point, we've locked in about $2,700 in profit at the worst case scenario, which is an excellent spot to be in. So again, this is a trade. If it does decide to break structure here, I will essentially be out just below at 117.408. So this is a trade I've been holding on to. If it closes out for a profit today, I'll be fine with it. If it keeps going, I will continue to try and be patient. And trust me, there has been some patience that's been tested here, right? Because here's the thing, right? I've wanted to take profits. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to take profits over here. I wanted to take profits over here. I want to take profits here, right? The point I'm keep holding it, or the reason I keep holding it, is because that is my strategy. My strategy is to trail stops and let the market tell me when it's time to get out of a trade, not to try and assume when the top is in. So even though, we have seen a little bit of red here, I want to see that this thing is truly going to fail out at structure before I stop out. So that's why I have my stop loss in place. Sure, I won't catch the max profit had I taken the profit there if price reverses. But again, that's a little bit of hindsight speaking. I am literally just going with the flow here. And this thing, to be fair, could head to the highs and even break out higher. So at this point, my only objective is trail stops until we see a proper move. I probably will, if things continue to rocket back to the high, I'll probably move the stop up even more, lock in a little bit more on the trade. I'm just, at this point, I'm stacking my chips. I'm just letting this thing run. And I know we've got a lot of charts to look at today, so don't worry. I will stop bragging here in a second. The reason I show these trades when they are going well is because most of my trades don't go this well. I'm not doing this every single day. I don't want to claim that, every trade I take looks like this. It doesn't. But when they happen, I want to show you kind of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, so that hopefully somebody can maybe pick up on something that could help them in some way or another. So anyways, this is a trade that I shared inside of our Discord. If you're not already in our Discord and you would like to join, we're doing 20% off this week. So check it out. There's a link down below in the description. And also, let's drop that link to Drew's chat on Telegram. He's a representative here. If you guys have any questions or you need any help, our customer support team is available in the chat right now. So we'll drop a link for Drew. There he is. So if you have any questions, shoot Drew a message on Telegram. He'll answer your questions if you have any questions about joining the VIP group, or if you would just like to read up on what is involved in the Discord. We put a lot of people, you can actually see the beautiful people involved in making this possible. We got Emily, Julie, myself, Drew, Chandler, and a couple other freelancers around the world, like my friend Ivan, Patrick. We got a bunch of people who are involved in making this group the number one place by far. There is not another place in the Forex world, in my opinion, that is better than our Discord. If you're trying to learn and you're trying to gather good, insightful content from other real traders who are actually out there doing it. If you're not already in the Discord, join this week, 20% off using the code down below in the description right now. And if you have any questions, again, Drew's chat is in the live stream chat right now. So all you got to do, shoot him a message on Telegram, ask him any of your questions if you have any concerns. Or you can use the link down below in the description to read up on what the group entails. There you go. So let's continue on. Now we're going to take a look at some pairs. We're going to look at some markets right now. So euro dollar has been trying to trail higher here a little bit. Here is the 4-hour chart. And I mentioned, that I liked this level, 1.1150, and we may be due for a retest. In fact, I think Ivan may have gotten his trade here. Ivan was telling us yesterday that potentially we have, 1.110, which is, 1.10, which was this level here. So if we actually drop it down to the 1-hour chart here for a moment, we do have a level of resistance that price is going to be trying here, it seems like today. So if you're looking at this and you're looking at euro dollar with a bearish perspective, keep in mind that we do have this level of resistance. So my view is that, like, let's say that you're super bearish on the euro. We have been making some higher lows, but let's say you're looking for a failure. You're looking for some trend continuation here. Honestly, it's not my favorite setup, but you know, we'll try and do Ivan some justice. He was talking about, you know, something like this 1.110 or 1.10. I keep saying that wrong. Perhaps a stop above the highs at somewhere around 45 pips. You know, if you're targeting, you've got a couple reasonable targets here. If you are short biased on the euro, it's not the worst idea in my opinion. You know, looking at levels like this, you've got a couple targets in mind that makes some good sense. You've got, should we see a bit of failure here, right? Targets back down at the lows, you know, structure down here. What did I just do? That was kind of cool. I just like adjusted the screen somehow. That was cool. Oh, auto. That's what I pressed. So anyways, check this out, right? So if I'm looking at euro dollar and I'm saying, where could this thing go next? Where is a plausible place for this thing to break down, to continue higher or lower? What I'm looking at is I'm saying, okay, price is sitting at resistance. We are in the context of a very dominant downward trend overall, but we've had a kind of a weak, shallow retracement right now. Had a couple higher lows, but again, taking into consideration the higher time frames, we're expecting for the time being sellers to continue to hold. So when we come up to a level like 1.10, it makes sense to look at this thing and say, okay, well, if this thing does sell off, where are we headed? Well, a couple ideas make sense. Like are the swing low here, right around 1.09. And then of course the previous low of the year, which is 1.083, let's call it. So, you know, you've got a couple reasonable ideas and that's good risk reward there. If you're talking about, you know, taking a trade and risking, you know, what we said, 47 pips, give or take. I don't think it's the worst idea. Again, this is something that is not currently in play. We're still, how many pips away? We are, you know, we're 25 pips away, 28 pips away from that kind of entry level that Ivan mentioned yesterday, that 1.10 level that we discussed on my stream or on the A1 trading stream yesterday. So when we look at this, right, if you're looking at euro dollar, I think that as a swing trader, that's kind of where I'm looking. I'm saying 4-hour chart. Yeah, I kind of like this as a potential sell zone with you know, perhaps a secondary try should we see a failure here. Let's say we break out here and we completely, you know, lose out. I like that 1.1150. We talked about that previously. You know, somewhere around this area could potentially be a nice sell as well. Now, this is higher time frame stuff because you're looking at the 4-hour chart. Do me a favor, you guys. Which time frame do you trade? Let me know right now if you don't mind. Drop it in the chat. Do you trade the 15-minute? Do you trade the 1 hour? Do you trade the 30-minute? Let me know. I'm always curious to see what you guys are interested in, so I can hopefully try and cater to the crowd a little bit more, whatever you guys would like to see. But again, I mostly focus personally on like the 1-hour chart and the 4-hour chart. But some of you guys are big, you know, 15-minute chart players, and you know, hey, there's different ways to approach it. Thank you guys. 1 hour, 1 hour and 15-minute chart, 1 and 4 hour, 5-minute, 5-minute, 1 hour, 30-minute. Cool. Thank you guys, by the way, for that feedback. It's always cool to see what you guys trade. 1 hour and the 30-minute, says Emmanuel. Okay. So the 1 day, somebody said the 1 day, got a daily chart trader here. 1 day, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15-minute. You trade them all, Stormcloud. That's cool. as long as you have your plan, you know. So yeah, that's my thoughts on euro dollar. I think it's reasonable that we could see a move back down to the lows here, perhaps even a move down to the previous low here. So that's kind of my personal take on the euro dollar. We'll move on from that. We'll come back to the euro probably tomorrow or something like that. But right now, it's moved away just a little bit from the resistance points that I was interested in. So let's take a look here at the pound against the US dollar. Does anybody trade the pound dollar? Type yes or no if you trade the pound dollar. I'm curious to see what you guys think on the pound. I do want to show you guys something. I've got something. We're going to do some free giveaway stuff here today. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to let people pile in for just a second. We'll do a giveaway in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere. That'll be really fun. Giving away some more free stuff today. We've been doing that for fun recently. It's kind of awesome. Guys, we've got such a surprise for you coming on Friday of this week, probably Friday. We've got something really fun coming into the office that's going to make the streams really exciting. Just trust me. If you're new to the streams, do me a favor right now. hit the like button, but also subscribe if you're new. These streams are about to get so fun, and we're about to give away a ton of stuff all the time. So just be ready for that. It's coming in on Thursday, should be ready on the streams by Friday. I'm not telling you what it is. You got to stick around to do so, but don't miss that because it's going to be so fun. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Subscribe, hit the notification button so you can come back and hang out with us when we're live. Okay, so lots of yeses. Lots of people trade the pound dollar. Some people said no, but most people are tending towards saying yes to trading the pound dollar. Let's look at it. Here's the 1 hour chart in the pound dollar. This thing right now, real quick, 4 hour chart, downward structure, right? We're looking at this. We are bearish biased, okay? Or at least I am. You know, we've got the moving averages here. This thing is a very strong downward trend. Notice something about this chart. It continuously respects resistance, okay? So we put that into mind. You know, for now, we are looking at resistance levels as sell zones. So very, very simple concepts. This is not, you know, rocket science. We're not getting super cheeky with it. For me right now, this is just my take on it. You guys can disagree with me, do your thing, right? But for me, this would be considered a bearish market environment based on what we just saw, 4 hour chart, higher time frames, and a low appetite globally due to the fundamentals for risk, right? Russia and Ukraine. What that does, you may have heard that. You may not pay attention to fundamentals in your trading, but think about this. Currencies are directly impacted by what happens globally and economically in the different parts of the world. So when Ukraine and Russia are going to war with each other, and there's big problems because of that in terms of supply lines, you know, commodity markets are rising due to inflation or not inflation concerns, but from supply concerns. Those things will have impacts on currencies. And that's probably a large component, or it is a large component as to why the pound has been weakening against the dollar. People rush to the dollar as a safe haven currency during a time like this. So as we come into a level of resistance, until further notice, fundamentally and technically, I am bearish biased on this pair. So we go into this perspective, we say, okay, well, where could we mark as levels of resistance? We've got the fundamentals telling us, be cautious, look for more sell side action. And then we could also look at the technicals and say, well, what are we seeing here on the technicals? Well, we're sitting at the 38.2% retracement. We've marked a level here, right? We could actually look at the 4 hour chart for this as well. So here's the 4 hour chart, right? 4 hour chart is showing a little bit of strength, but remember, context is very important. We look left, we see a downward trend structure. We've got the fibs from the high to the low. The 38.2% combined with resistance levels here looks to me like more of a sell zone than a buy zone. That is my personal opinion. But that 50% also looks attractive. So, you know, maybe a stab here and then the other idea being here. This is looking similar to our idea on the euro dollar. Now, where is this thing headed? If we see a sell-off, where's the natural place for price to go? Well, if you're looking at the 1 hour chart, we'll pull this up just to get a better view of this. I'd say there's two main spots. Number one, probably right here, right? 1.3030, and then the previous low at 1.30. Okay. So why is this level a potential target? Well, notice what we did here. On the way up, we did form a higher low here. So a lot of times what we'll see is that if there is a stop, a big stop sign that comes in, right? Stops right here. It says stop, you're going back down. If that is the case, the first place price is going to probably want to retest would be where it found support previously, right? We're just putting our technicals into play here. We're saying, what is the market thinking? Well, we struggled at this area. We probably want to go back and retest levels like 1.3030 where we had previous buyers. So again, it's not rocket science. It's not, it's just keeping it very simple. We're looking at structure. We're saying, okay, markets probably want to go back to here if we see this level hold. Now, how do we confirm that this level is going to hold? Well, there's no guarantee. You may look for candlestick patterns. You may look for confirmation, etc. For me, generally speaking, I just like to take trades at levels that make sense to me and agree with my fundamental and sentiment and technical analysis. So generally speaking, let's go look at something together. Let's go look at the website together. A1trading.com, the best website on earth for traders. It's not my site, I promise. Actually, it is. Come check it out. There's a bunch of free resources here for though. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you check out the website, we got a whole bunch of free stuff for you. If you're new to this stuff, if you're an aspiring trader, now is your time. Subscribe. We've got so many free resources. It's not even funny. It's It's how we run our business. We basically give away 90% of what we do. We work very hard. We've got several people who make this stuff possible. And if you're not already using our free stuff, subscribe to the YouTube channel, head to a1trading.com, bookmark the page, all that sort of stuff. We've got it all here for you. 84% of retail traders right now are long on the pound dollar. That's concerning. Why is that concerning? Well, if the crowd is buying, you got to be very careful that you don't want to be, just buying for no reason, right? Because if you're just in here buying just because it looks low, it's going to be a tough time. Because, the old concept of saying buy low, sell high, it's nice on paper until you realize you thought this was the low, and then now the market just tanked, right? And now you said, well, I bought low, but now it kept going lower. Or, you think that you sell high and then the market flies higher. You say, well, how do you know the bottoms and the tops? You don't know them for sure. That's why we use stop losses. That's why we try and manage risk, etc. But okay, so anyways, taking what we just found out, we just did some research together, and what do we find? We found that, again, retail sentiment, 84% of retail traders are buying this chart. So for me, that is an additional factor to why I want to be more short biased. I don't want to be super optimistic with the herd. I would more likely be wanting to look for sells. It's not a guarantee that the market's going down. There's no certainties in this game. It's all about probability. So what that may do, though, is it may say, okay, well, what if I want to take a sell and I decide, hey, this fits my criteria for an entry and I'm going to risk real small on this. And I'm going to say something like, hey, you know what? I'm just looking for 20 pips as a stop loss, max loss. I'm going to be looking for, if it does move in my favor, that's a 2-to-1. And then let's say that price also, maybe you take, depending on what you do, some people trail stops, some people put hard, targets, things like that. You've also got the idea of a potential move back down to the low. And this is a 3.5 give or take to 1 trade. So price comes up to your level and, let's say it does something like this, right? That's amazing. And the idea there is good risk reward. We're going against the crowd here, right? The crowd thinks it's going up. We got to be very cautious with that. Then you put that all into perspective. This is where things kind of align, and we look for trades that give us some sort of high probability of making money. It's not a guarantee, it's a probability. And that's why you can't go all in on a move like this. You can't take huge trades just because you feel strongly about a position, right? I shorted on the shadow of the candle, currently at break even and about to take partials. Shorted on the shadow of the candle. You must be trading like the 5-minute chart or something, because that thing hasn't moved that much. Are you like trading? Because that's like 10 pips if you took this shadow. Maybe I'm reading your comment wrong. Will you look at the lower time frame, bullish turn, bearish for enter? So I personally, this is about as low as I need to go for a swing trade. The 1 hour chart's fine by me. You may have a different approach, and that's cool. Just because I do something a certain way does not mean it's the right way. There are people with different approaches. Hello, Nick. Thank you for your lives. Excellent. Do you trade chart patterns? I have a friendly question. Why didn't you take head and shoulders on head? I didn't see it. And, sometimes I miss stuff. There's only one of me and many charts to look at. But gold, head and shoulders. If you're talking about shorting gold, I'm not shorting gold right now. Despite this thing selling off. Let's take a look at gold together. So, you're saying, why didn't you take the head and shoulders here, here, here? Well, it's not the worst idea, but I personally wouldn't be shorting gold right now, and I'll tell you why. Until this situation with Russia and Ukraine fully subsides, gold is a risk-off asset, right? Fundamentally, I'm more concerned with going long than I am with going short. So for me, I'd be looking for opportunities to try and go with this flow, not trying to fight it, because it's definitely a tricky one to try and short right now. Sure, maybe you have a reason to sell and you have a technical entry and you're able to risk small and take a position that makes sense for you. By all means, do your thing. But again, fundamentally, this thing would be more on the bullish perspective for me until further notice. So for me, I'm looking at this, I'm saying, where's the pullback? But for right now, this does look like it's technically bearish, but fundamentally still bullish for me. So I wouldn't short it, but technically I do think, you've got the head and shoulders, you've got a break of support. It looks good for sells, but Again, I don't take trades unless fundamentally I have a good reason to do so. And fundamentally, what I mean by that is Russian-Ukraine situation has caused gold to rise dramatically. I'll have to do some research, make sure that fundamentally we're still intact. But for the most part, I'd be looking for bullish structure to resume. Maybe something like this, for example, continuation plays. I'd have to go take a look at that, guys. Let's do our giveaway. You guys ready to do the giveaway? Let me see if we can get this set up. I don't know if Chandler, would you mind just letting Emily know to jump into the stream so she can help me with this? If she's not already listening, she may already be listening, but Emily's going to help us out with this. She's going to be our giveaway host. Let's start the promo. But yeah, Chandler, if you don't mind just setting her up to be ready with her link, we'll get that ready. So we're going to be giving away some fun stuff here. Let me pull this up on the screen. So here's something that's kind of cool. Right now, especially, check this out. We've got a bunch of cool indicators that our team has built. We've spent so much time working with developers, programming, coming up with technical analysis strategies and things like that, and then building them in. If you use MT4, this is a strategy or a concept that we've built for MT4. This tool right here, we're going to be giving away a couple copies. All you got to do, we just dropped it in the chat, send a message to Emily on Telegram. Send her the message, A1 Trend Scanner. First 3 people to send her a message will get a free copy of this. Let me just show you what this tool does. Again, send her a message right now. Drop that message in Telegram. Race to do that. We're going to be giving this away. But check this out. Here's what the tool does. This tool is a tool for finding trend trading setups. Notice how this chart is trending beautifully, right? We got this thing flying high. Moving averages agree. This is a market that I want to be looking at from a bullish perspective. But I don't want to just be buying it just because it's trending higher. I want pullback setups, right? I'd like to get this thing on a discount and try and go with the flow. That's the sort of setup that we look for in our everyday trading here at A1 Trading. That's a very, very common approach that we're looking for, trend following methods. So for example, let's look at pound dollar. Pound dollar is signaling a potential short setup right now. So we've got a short or a bearish trend with a sell signal coming in today. We've got Euro NZD telling us potentially that this could be long bias. We've got NZD CHF telling us that there perhaps is some sell bias, although I don't love this signal. Let's take a look. Here's NZD USD. Now this one looks interesting. So here's a 1 hour signal that the tool has printed. So basically we have a level of resistance. We have a downward structured trend, and we've got an overbought reading. So this is what produces this signal right here for MT4. If you don't already use a tool like this, I'm telling you, it is a dramatic, helpful tool to use in your everyday trading for scanning the markets. Sitting through the markets can be so tedious, right? Looking through 100 different charts. What this tool does for you is it allows you to check out 30 charts at the same time. And you can basically come up with ideas just from this tool. So for example, it's telling us S&P 500 looks potentially like a sell as it rallies in the context of a downward trend. Again, if you watch my streams, if you watch my content, these are the sort of setups that we look for again and again. And you can scan the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, 15 minute, 30 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, whatever chart you'd like to look for trend trading setups. This is going to help you find some of the best ones. So again, if you're not already using a tool like this and you would like access, drop a message right now. Her chat is in there right now. Just send her the message, A1 Trend Scanner, and we're going to be giving away a couple free copies. We'll give away 3 copies of the tool for your MT4 today. So do that right now if you haven't already. Shoot her a message, and we could drop it in the chat one more time, maybe just to give people a chance to see it. So if you haven't already, like I said, shoot her a message. Go grab a copy of this. This thing is available on our website. If you would like access, just head over to a1trading.com if you would like to get a copy of the tool. But again, try and enter the free giveaway. All you got to do is send Emily that message. Whoever is the first couple people to get it will go ahead and win a copy of this tool. Again, it's something I use every day. I use this every single day to help me find the setups that I look for, because it's so much easier to scan 30 charts like this than it is to go chart by chart and look for setups. So again, I've been doing this for 6 years. Time is precious to me. So for me, it's very important to try and, basically spend less time on the chart, more time just analyzing a setup and deciding the risk tolerance, etc., things like that. If you haven't already, shoot her a message. Thank you guys very much for watching today's stream. If you enjoyed it, make sure to thumbs up, subscribe for more. We'll be doing more giveaways. So again, don't miss the upcoming giveaways, and hope to see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you later. Hey guys, thanks very much for watching today's live stream. If you enjoyed the show,
If you're looking for a broker upgrade, we have an amazing offer just for you. Thanks to our partnered broker Axie, you may qualify for a 30% deposit bonus when you sign up using our link in the description below. For example, for qualified clients, a deposit of $1,000 could receive a bonus of $300 in trading credits. They've partnered with us to provide traders with the tightest spreads, lowest trading costs, and a huge range of tradable assets. Markets like forex, commodities, and indices are all available for clients trading with Axie. Remember to use the link in the description to potentially qualify for the deposit bonus offered and to support what we do here at A1 Trading. Please note, this offer is only available to traders outside of the US. For US-based traders, consider checking out some of the other brokers listed in the description below.